Latest today, Jungkook appears at this event in LA, making fans excited. Hello K-pop lovers around the globe. Welcome back to the Kpop Idol channel, where stories aren't just told, they are felt. Today, we're not just sharing news. We're sharing a moment. A moment that reminded us why we fell in love with BTS in the first place. A moment of brotherhood, vulnerability, and yes, fashion controversy. This is the story of Jungkook's long-awaited return. The hug that melted hearts across the world. And the pair of shoes that almost broke the internet. But this isn't just about shoes. This is about the man inside them. So sit back, open your heart, and let's begin. The return nobody was ready for. It was a quiet afternoon in Seoul. No press conference. No music release. No paparazzi crowding the streets. Just a rehearsal room. A camera. And a man who had been away for far too long. Jungkook, the youngest member of BTS, the golden Maknae, the powerhouse vocalist, the idol who took the world by storm, was finally back from his mandatory military service. After 18 months, the world had missed him more than ever. And the moment he walked back into that practice studio for J-Hope's special concert, the silence was replaced by something powerful. Emotion. You see, this wasn't just a surprise visit. This was a homecoming. A reunion of two souls who had walked side by side for more than a decade, now meeting again not just as performers, but as brothers. The hug that shook the fandom. As Jungkook entered the room, J-Hope turned and smiled. Not a staged smile. Not a media-ready grin. But a smile that came from somewhere deeper. From years of memories. From shared stages and sleepless nights. From the bond forged not in luxury, but in struggle. And then, they hugged. The kind of hug that tells 1,000 stories without saying a single word. The kind that says, I've missed you. I'm proud of you. Let's dance again. The camera captured it all. Not from a distance, but with intimacy. As if letting the world peek into a sacred space. It was real. It was raw. It was BTS. And in that hug, we saw what many had forgotten in today's fast-paced fandoms. That beyond the fame and the fortune, there are friendships. The shoes that started a war. But just as fans were wiping away tears, the internet, being the internet, did what it does best. They zoomed in. Not on the hug. Not on the tears. Not even on the dancing. But on his shoes. The moment was frozen. Screenshot. Shared. Millions of fans, within hours, were debating one burning question. What is Jungkook wearing on his feet? And so began the saga of what many called the ugliest shoes ever worn by an idol. From fan forums to fashion blogs. From TikTok to X. Netizens were ruthless. They looked like someone ran over them with a lawnmower. Is he starting a new Martian fashion trend? Balenciaga or Balenciaga? The shoes were, in fact, Balenciaga, a luxury fashion house known for pushing boundaries. But this time, many believed they had pushed too far. Jungkook, the man who made them iconic. Here's the twist. Jungkook didn't care. Not a flinch. Not a smirk. No nervous glances at the camera. No attempts to hide his feet. Because Jungkook doesn't wear clothes for validation. He wears them to express who he is. And maybe that's why we love him. In a world where celebrities curate every post, filter every photo, and follow every trend, Jungkook breaks the mold. He shows up in a hoodie. He wears baggy pants. He rocks unbranded caps and $10 sunglasses. And somehow, he makes it look like Fashion Week in Milan. Because what Jungkook wears isn't what matters. How he wears it, that's where the magic lies. The brotherhood that stole the spotlight. As rehearsals continued, something else became clear. This wasn't just about fashion. It was about connection. J-Hope and Jungkook moved as one, like muscle memory from years on stage. They laughed. They goofed around. They shared glances that said, "We're back." And for fans watching, it felt like coming home. The energy, the synergy, it wasn't scripted. It was lived. Because these two aren't just co-workers. They are family. And in the middle of all that warmth, a pair of controversial shoes became background noise. The legend continues. Just weeks after this heartwarming reunion, Jungkook made headlines once again. Not for fashion. Not for a new look. But for his numbers. Jungkook officially surpassed 18 million followers on Spotify. Let that sink in. While other artists struggled to maintain relevance after military hiatus, Jungkook returned stronger, faster, more powerful than ever. His tracks like 7, Standing Next to You, and 3D continued climbing charts. His artistry crossed borders, languages, and genres. He wasn't just a K-pop idol anymore. He was a global force. The power of being real. But what makes this story special isn't the stats. It's the truth underneath them. Jungkook's success doesn't come from perfection. It comes from his authenticity. He makes mistakes. He experiments. He lives, and lets us watch. Even if it means wearing shoes the internet loves to hate. Because here's the real truth. Charisma can't be faked. Confidence can't be bought. And Jungkook doesn't need approval, he's already earned the world's respect. A pair of shoes and a legendary walk. And maybe, just maybe, those shoes that sparked so much chaos will one day be more than just a meme. Maybe they'll end up in a museum. Behind glass. With a plaque that reads, "The shoes worn by Jungkook upon his return from military service, the beginning of a new era." Because in K-pop history, even the smallest moments become legendary. The story is just beginning. So what comes next? More music. More surprises. More moments that remind us why Jungkook remains untouchable. But no matter what he wears, be it flip-flops, combat boots, or Balenciagas, the world will watch. Because we're not here for the shoes. We're here for him. For the man who continues to grow, to evolve, and to shine. For the golden Maknae who never stops inspiring. And so, to all the fans still laughing about the shoes. Laugh on. But never forget the bigger picture. This is Jungkook, flawed, fearless, and unforgettable. And in a world chasing perfection, he reminds us that sometimes, the most beautiful thing is being unapologetically yourself. If this story moved you, leave a comment below. What did you feel watching that hug? What did those shoes make you think? And more importantly, do you believe this is the beginning of a new Jungkook era? Like, subscribe, share this moment. Because what we just witnessed may never happen again. And if it does, the world better be watching.